Okay, if I can talk over my noisy geese. Turkey was attacking one of the ducks, so they're all riled up. At any rate, I got my Dodge that I pulled the radiator out of. This is the radiator I pulled out because it seemed to have a leak, and I just could not find where. And I let it sit overnight, and it still kept dripping. So I thought, well, it's something to do with the tank or something. So I've been working on trying to get the proper setup so that I can test them on their own. Got another one there from a previous accident that I did a smoke test on, and that showed positive it was a leak. This one I did smoke test, but I just couldn't get any kind of results to feel comfortable about. So just now I got the right setup. I ordered some plugs from Amazon that allow me to get those plugged off real tight. I got this tester here, and I just pumped it up. See, it's at the top of the green there, and it's been sitting that way for a few minutes. This is a 20-pound cap that goes on this radiator, but I pop this thing out when I try to get a lot of pressure into it. But I figure if it can hold, that much pressure and just not lose it, then must be okay on the leaks. Now this one here was, it was in an accident before too, so you can see all the dings and everything, but the legs that it fits on the frame to hold it in place, those broke off. So although the radiator itself may be good, it doesn't mount in properly. So now I'm going to go ahead and test this one, see if I can get a positive test on this, because if it isn't a leak, I've got to get it back on the truck there and figure out what was going on. Thing I found with some of this is that when I've been testing them over the past couple of days using water tests, things like that, is the radiator will hold a lot of water in between. I tried using a air blow and get rid of all the excess water on there and everything, but it's really hard. So what happens is, even though it sits there and you think it's dry, oh, there went that guy. Even if you sit there thinking it's dry, there's still water accumulated inside the fins. And so as the radiator sits for a little while, it actually still keeps dripping off excess water or coolant, if that was what was spilled in there. So that could be what was going on when I kept getting, because I had a good day and a half of checking it on the truck to find out where the leak was. I changed the top hose thinking that was the main problem, but other than that, I gotta go find that plug now that popped off. And so yeah, I'm going to pressure test this one next. Okay, this is the radiator I was most concerned about. This is the one I took out of the truck, and I could swear it had a small leak, not like shooting out, just dribbling out over a day's time. So I hooked it up for my little pressure test setup here, and you can see that I brought it all the way up to the top of the green there, which is 7 psi. And then when I looked back later, it was down. And now I just did it again, and you can see it slowly creeping down. So it does have a pinhole leak in there somewhere, maybe around one of the fittings, but because I know that this thing seemed to be leaking, I'm going to have to figure it's the bad radiator, which I hate to spend money on another radiator. It's not that old, really, but at the same time, I'm not going to go put it all back in there and find out it's no good. So yeah, you can see it's pretty well gone down. I'm going to give a quick pump up again real quick, and hang on here. Okay, let's see what it says. Cranked it back up to the top of the green there, and it's going down pretty fast. And the other thing I could do right now, just even more to verify more, is to get a spray bottle with some soapy water, spray around this and see if I can ID where the leak would be at. I'll probably try that next just to be extra sure. If not, I gotta order up another radiator. Glad I finally got the combination working out. I tried smoke testing, water testing, compression testing. I was going to use my AC vacuum pump and try vacuum testing, but getting the right fittings and everything is what makes it rough. The fittings that come with this kit, they pretty limited compared to some of the kits you can get. So I had a hard time matching up ones that would fit on there. Like this guy, when you go to screw it on, take it off real quick. Usually you release the pressure over here. This is the radiator cap type. And then they have these adapters that adapt from that into another plug. That you can see right here. This is a plug similar to this over here, just different sized. And because I squished it down so far, what it does is it pulls this plate down until it like fattens out the rubber plug there, which is what gets it good and tight. So now I gotta separate these two. They're pretty tight. Yeah, so at any rate, I'm gonna probably do one more test with some soapy water just to verify. But it looks like a new radiator's the answer. Okay, back to this. This is my original radiator by pressure testing. It does have a slow leak. I just kind of confirmed it with the gauge. I can get it up to the top of the green there and it'll slowly creep down, going down to the yellow now. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't my fittings or something else. And so I came out with some soapy water. And let's take a look here. There we go. Yep, found the leak. Sucks. It's not a big deal either, but it is a leak. That makes kind of sense. Let's see which side. Yeah, this is the top. So yeah, I changed this top hose on it originally, thinking that that was the problem, and it was probably because it was leaking out of here, dribbling down the hose somehow. But yeah, looks like we've got decent little leak going on there. Got it. Not what I wanted to do, but oh well, at least I know for sure it's bad. Okay, here we go. After basically figuring out that my other radiator, which wasn't that old, maybe a couple years old, had a little leak right in the end of the fin there. Actually on the opposite side was the problem. I was able to finally confirm that with the vacuum testing and everything. I went ahead and ordered another one. So this is like the fourth radiator going in this truck. My poor old truck I've had since new 2004. It's had 3 radiators replaced from accidents and 1 from just failure, which shouldn't have happened, but it did. So here we go. One more. I'm going to put this one in, see if I can get this truck back up and going. As you can see, it's the fall. I wanted to be on the road doing road trips, cruising, checking out stuff. But here I sit, working on my car. Beautiful day though. Just a little quick update. I got the radiator placed in. Doesn't seem like it's fitting down quite as far as I expected it to. And it's like it's riding up on that one spot there a little bit, but we'll see. So I got it in, got the condenser cooler in place, 2 screws on that, got it on its little clip here, hooked up the hose here, got the transmission cooler lines hooked up, and mounted up the electric radiator or fan. Now I'm going to put this bottom half of this Anyway, I'm gonna put the bottom half of this on. Cowling, I guess it was called. Make sure my electric line is running through the bottom where it belongs so that I can hook it up under. And not too bad. I mean, things are moving along pretty nicely. So hopefully, if I mess up on something, I'll notice it if I watch this video later. Back to work. Okay, so I got pretty much everything in place. And of course, one thing that really kind of bothered me was the way this radiator sat, the little rubber feet that come on each of these radiators. This one had one on them, so I just reused it. But they need to fit in there, like you can see how this one fits into a curved portion of the frame there, which would be on this side. The problem is that didn't sit down quite as far as I thought it should. But then I thought, well, it's not going to make that much of a difference. I should be able to get away with that because I don't know how to push it in there. I just can't really you can see it there. But yeah, I can't really press it down far enough, and I don't want to put any pressure on the radiator. I may have to yank it back out again and either put this other original foot back in or do something with that. I don't know. And the reason I say that is because I can get everything to kind of line up here on this cross piece, but this one sits just about right, but this one's sitting too high, which means the radiator's up too high off the frame. What a pain. I like my job so much, I'm going to do it twice, I guess. Okay, well, I've been busy here. Got this in the last part of the video I made. I was just too high up on this one side. The rubber piece that came with it just did not fit that right. So I had to pull it off, put the old one in there, get this guy back down as far as I could. Truck's been in a few accidents, so the front end is already kind of misaligned anyway. I was able to get this crossbar back in. Had to do some cables across the fingers to pull it closer to be able to do that. I just finished putting fluid in here. Let's see. Wait for the okay. I'm going to wait for the thermostat to kick in, hoping to get the flow to go through. Make sure this is all the way full. You're supposed to open this here to burp the air out, but that thing is solid. It's just not coming out. I just have to do it the way I did it before. I just kind of squeeze the tubes and get all the flow down and out of the way as I can, and then double check here. And temperature wise, it's a very cold day today too, so I don't think yeah, it's not even the gauge hasn't even come up yet. And also what I did, which I did last winter, is I pulled that fan off, the regular mechanical fan. Thing sounds like an airplane when you got that thing running. And last winter I ran it just fine. It wasn't hot or anything without the fan. And then come summer I put it back on and compensated for the high temperatures, and especially when I did the road trip to California and back, I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of airflow there. So that worked out all right. I don't think it had anything to do with the radiator going bad. That's just lousy craftsmanship. It just didn't solder or do it right. So put a 3-year warranty on this next one. Hopefully that will last, or hopefully I won't have to use it, but if I do, at least it's there. Got my bug catcher back on. This worked out really good going to California and back. Kept all the bugs out of my radiator, my evaporator for the AC. So all in all, I'm just going to let it kind of sit here and run for a while and maybe move it a little bit to get it away from all the spills I had, so I can make sure that nothing is a fresh leak here. And beat the heck out of myself. I mean, I got scars and blood and everything running all over the place. Uh, Mechanic work. So anyway, that's a break. I'm gonna stop for now. Maybe finish up in a minute.